right, here we go. Right, George?
We're
on.
back. We are back.
And you're welcome to Florida West Coast Fishing Report live right here from Tampa, Florida.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida, where, it's funny. At the show yesterday, it was beautiful, and it poured rain in my house, I was told, and lightning and thunder and everything else at the north end.
Right. Now, it looked beautiful, didn't it?
Oh, God.
It looked beautiful out. Like when I came across the bridge, it was beautiful out. And, it was just surprising to hear that kind of weather came through.
I was coming home, and then all of a sudden I got into my neighborhood, and everything's underwater. Couldn't figure out what it was.
There we go.
All right. And we got to thank Donald. He helped us out all day.
Yeah,
Saturday.
he did.
He was a super guy, man.
I finally got the comments to pop up on mine. So now I got Donald. How you doing, Donald? Alejandro. And then what can you do with these stars?
And Bucky.
It throws a couple of dollars towards Sergio for the show.
There you go.
What it does.
Yeah. All right. You have unearned messages from one person. Okay.
Pay Bucky.
Unread. All right. Oh, Bucky. Hey, George, what do you think? It looks like crappy weather coming again, man.
Yeah, Wednesday's not looking good. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm crossing my fingers. But
I hope we get.
Yeah. Bucky, I hope your shoulder is getting better for you. I've seen you got out there at least. We got Luke's watching. Yep. Hey, Luke. Luke is the Y-Tango hook tunnel inventor. That's right. The Sabiki tunnel. Works really well. You got to try it out. Definitely easy to use and stores your Sabiki out of the way. You don't get all hooked up with it. Good evening, captains. Great to see you guys. Yeah, it was great seeing you, Alejandro. It was nice to actually meet you instead of just social media.
and I tell you what, we had some great people at our seminars. We can't complain.
Yeah.
They were all they were there to learn. I think they did a great job. And, being out there. And what can I tell you? Thank you again, everybody, for showing up at the boat show.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. I mean, I had the first day, it was all the seats were taken. It was a good showing. And,
even Friday, I had a big turnout on Friday, which I was really amazed.
Right. And I like to see this because I've had this over the years. I mean, I've been doing the YouTube. I've been doing these seminars for a lot of years. And I love when I see people come out with a pad and pencil and they take notes and they write down all those little tips and tricks because there really is, in an hour's time, there's too much to try and just remember in your head sometimes. And it's just nice to see people really involved. I mean, if you're going to bring a notepad and a pen, you're really, listening and trying to learn. It's really nice to see. We got Manuel
and
Captain Chris.
Burke and Captain Chris Yates. Yeah, I got about 6 emails last night. People just say, Captain, I know you were busy. I'm going to ask you too many questions. But they were asking me questions about king fishing,
Right.
It was nice that they even took the time to text me and ask me some other questions. So,
how you doing, Linda?
Hey, Linda.
Now it's funny. You've seen it first, and then it just showed up.
Yeah.
Captain Kenny, how you doing, buddy? Captain Kenny. So we got some people on tonight, and that boat show went really well. I think the turnout was pretty good. Sunday, I think the weather was so nice out on the bay that might have hurt the boat show a little bit because it was nowhere near the weatherman said it was going to be crappy both days, and
he wasn't wrong. Like I said, in my house it was terrible.
Right. But it was beautiful over my way both days. Manuel says pond sucks. Yes, sir. 2 days this week when I got off the water, I had to put a cold rag with an ice cube in it on my eyes because they were so bad.
My cars in the morning that are parked outside are light green. That's how much pollen we got. I got so many oak trees where I'm at.
Right. Donald Clemens just signed on. He's actually he was at the last boat show. The one that you were gone. I had to work that booth that was by the stage that time.
Yeah.
He was at that one, and he came out again on Saturday, I believe it was. And so, Don, I appreciate you coming out and listening to me gab, and appreciate you tuning into the show.
Like I said, we appreciate everybody showing up. And actually, it was a nice crowd even Friday. I know Friday you had a charter, you weren't there, and I had to be there. But Friday we had a nice crowd. Saturday night, and this was one of the crowds that a lot of people stopped to talk to you. You know, you have some that, man, they go past. You think they're on a freight train passing your booth.
Like, why are you at the boat show? Yeah.
And a lot of people got to learn a lot from Junior with the Valley Hoop. Man, he
Yeah.
was just demonstrating that, and he did great. He actually wanted to prove to everybody how well it worked up here. And I think it was Thursday after he set up his booth, he went to the Skyway Pier because he comes from Miami and started catching bait and videotaping it so he could show it and say, look, this is not in the Keys. This is not in Miami. This is not in the South. This is right here in your backyard with 15 to 20 knot winds. I'm catching bait from the Skyway Pier.
Yeah, he had to put 2
pounds of
pounds, 2 pounds of lead in the basket, in the net to get it to go down. And he was fighting. Current was going one way and the wind was going another way, but he was still able to catch a bait with that.
He was bringing it up, and he had 40, 50 baits at a time.
Yeah.
And so he was able to prove it. He sold quite a few of those belly hoop nets.
Yeah, he did. I've seen a lot of them.
Well.
I've seen a lot of them walking through the show with them, so, and that's, his packaging too is good because he gets people walking around with it. There's advertisement right there too.
And the other thing is, that there was some different things. There was the Captain Rick. He had a gizmo to put your GoPro camera in, so you can go like 12 feet underwater with it from the boat. You can put it up on your rod holder and get video that way. It's amazing how these people come up with these ideas, and then they kind of, make them.
Yeah, and then with Captain Rick, besides going underwater, when Sergio was saying about putting it in the rod holder, it can go 12 foot
up,
and then he has a polarized lens he's putting in front of the camera, so it's like being up on a tower where you can see the fish. But now instead of having to have a tower, you just raise the camera up.
You just put it there and turn
and
it
then
on.
you look at it on your phone, or you can look at it on a pad, iPad or something, and kind of gives you the same advantage of having a tower. But then when you want to go under a bridge, you can take that thing down.
Right. You don't have to worry about. There's more and more. The other day, somebody hit a tree with a tower. I'm telling you,
it's brutal.
Like West Shore Boulevard. When I had the tower a couple of years ago, there's some of those big branches that they trim them, but they're just not quite high enough. And
Yeah.
some of these older towers, but mine was low enough, but I still didn't want to take the chance. But some of these older towers that they used to be a lot higher, you
Right.
can't go through West Shore. If you get off off the interstate and come down West Shore Boulevard, you better be real careful going to Gandy.
Oh yeah. We got Alvaro tuned in now too, watching.
Colombia,
Of course,
South America.
I can't understand what he wrote, but I appreciate you tuning in.
He's telling you hello from Medellin, Colombia.
Okay.
Saludos.
I got my translator on the other end over there.
That's right. We had a lot of the captains come by. We had Ken Burke. He stopped by for a while. Of course, Eddie Caldwell came up and did his
Right.
seminar.
We got Pamela. Pamela just tuned in also.
Yeah. And you see that, it's nice. She came in 4th place overall.
Yeah.
That was really nice. I congratulate her. I thought that was a very good job, Pam. She works hard at it. I mean, she spends a lot of time on the water to make these things happen. It's not just part-time.
She does a lot of tournaments, so it's she's got her time. She's got her experience.
And let's see what else we got. Pam.
We got We got a packed show tonight. We've got a lot of reports tonight. We got 7 fishing reports from all different areas. So
and then tonight,
yes.
sometime before the show's over.
Drum roll.
Wait a minute. Or maybe no. How about
That's not bad after they win. Keep that one for after they win. So Sergio's got like we talked about at the show, everybody that tunes in that saved their ticket, Sergio's show them the backside, but not the front side.
Yeah.
No,
I won't even show them that. Nope.
Sergio's going to hold up the winning
We
numbers.
promised that we were going to give away a ballyhoot net to somebody,
Valued at.
If we drew a number, one of the tickets, and I've got it, and I'm going to show it on the air. And if the lucky winner happens to be watching,
right, you got to be watching.
He can text. He goes text me, and we'll get together, and I'll give him a $250 Valley Hoop net. So I hope somebody wins it. I mean, I kept all the tickets, put them in the thing, shoot them up good, and I took one out today. You know,
and this is a one-shot deal. This isn't like at the show where we just kept drawing tickets until somebody won.
One
it's
shot,
a one-shot
one ticket.
Hopefully you're watching. If you ain't watching,
and you can't get it to me after the show, because that means somebody might have told you about it. You got to do it while the show's on the air. Once we show it on the air,
you got to text Sergio.
You better text it on that number that I got on there, because if not, you lost it.
Yep. Put it this way. By the end of the show, if you haven't texted Sergio, you don't get it.
You don't get it. There you go.
But it's a good deal. I mean, you already won something at the boat show with your ticket, and now you can win possibly a $250 Valley Hoop net. So you can't go wrong.
Now, George, let's talk about what happened last week. We had a great day with Captain Mike Haynes and out of Crystal River. It went. You couldn't have done it any better. He told us we're going to go out to these flats, and we were fishing with artificials. And it's funny, I didn't think to be mackerel that far north this early. We remember we got that one big. We got cut off 3 or 4 times and caught a big mackerel using saltwater assassin, and then we caught a bunch of trout. But you would think that if anything, we would be getting mackerel down here first because they're going north. Right.
Well, actually, people are keeping tight-lipped. They've actually moved into the bay. They're at the Skyway, and there's a few that have come up into the bay already.
Yeah, but so that's Crystal River, man. That's way up.
Far.
I don't expect them there till April, you know?
Yeah, that's far up there. Jim Pace just tuned in.
All right.
So how you doing, Jim? Scotty Rowe. Yep. Hey, buddy.
All right, man.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. Now, I'm excited for the person. I hope they're watching tonight and they win this Valley Hoop.
Hey, they can go out and practice and send us pictures of all the bait they caught with it.
Yep. And you got to show us folding it back up. We got to see you do it.
yeah. You know, that's what's good if you were at the show, because Junior can do it so easy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if I practice with it, I can do it pretty easy after you practice a while.
Yeah.
I don't use it for a while. It takes 4 or 5 times for me to get back into the neck of things. You know,
I was definitely a little nervous when we were filming and I had to do it while you were filming. I was like, please go together the way it's supposed to. Because if you slip, it slips out of your hand real easy. But once you get the knack of it, then it's easy. But it's doing it all the time. Jim's asking if we film your seminars.
No, we didn't.
We didn't this time, but I've had my wife film them before, and then we've played them online before, and people seem to like that also. You know, but my goal is I want to get my goal though, I really want to get people out to the boat show. You know, I don't want them to say, well, I'll just watch it later. I really want people to get involved, and we had good turnouts at our seminars this time.
No, we can't complain. I think the Times did a very good job of getting people there. Yeah. Now the next one's already planned for the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, I think, of June. So it's ready to go already.
Right. Hey, Brad, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in.
You got it, man. So anyway, let's talk a little bit. We caught the mackerel, we caught the trout, and then Mike says when the tide gets enough that we can get to the area I want to get back in the back country, and sure as shooting, man, we got back in there. It's still a little low, but we got 2 big, beautiful redfish. I mean, just gorgeous redfish.
Yeah.
It was just one beautiful. And then it's funny. You know how many pinfish are up there? He had his pinfish traps. We picked the pinfish trap up from the day before, just, one day, because he pulls them out every day. There must have been in one trap 60 pinfish, if not more. I mean, that pinfish trap, I don't think it could hold any more fish. And that's what we used. And if you watch the show when it comes up, you're going to enjoy it because he's got a special technique on the way we fished with pinfish for those big reds. And I'm not going to tell you how it is. You're going to have to watch the show to see it. Okay. So, and the other thing too is don't forget to look at Onshore, Offshore, and Coastal Angler magazines this month. There's some good articles in there from George, some good articles from me and from other captains. And you can always learn. I'm always learning from other people's and what
Right.
they got to say.
And then there's also a column now. One of my clients actually writes for the magazine now for this, beginning of January. Older gentleman, he's been fishing his whole life. He's gone all over. So a lot of his articles, his name's David Mallory, and a lot of his articles a lot of them are going to be based in Florida, but then he's going to have some like out in Vermont and all the different places that he's traveled in his 82 years of life. And fishing has been like his whole life. So there's all kinds of stuff that you'll be reading about from him also.
Oh, good. What magazine is he on?
He is on the Onshore Offshore magazine.
Okay, yeah.
But so really, really neat stuff. Now, unfortunately, because we had to reschedule that show, I wasn't able to go with Sergio on that one with Mike Haynes. I really wanted to, but I was already chartered up for the whole week, so I couldn't make that show. But let me tell you what, spring is sprung. There's more bait around, and they're chasing the white baits down now. So it's in that time of they're just switching over. This week we still caught more redfish on shrimp than white bait, but they're snooker chasing them down. We caught some reds on white bait, so it's happening right now.
What was water temperature? It was up almost
higher.
7 in Crystal River.
Yeah, it was higher because we hit like 69 in one of the spots.
And once it started hitting 72, 73, that's good water.
Yeah, well, it's happening, and there's some bigger redfish that have moved in, and they're cruising a lot of the flats in Tampa Bay, like all different areas in Tampa Bay right now. So it's happening, and I'm even seeing some of them big reds on the docks also. So
good.
And when I say big reds, anywhere from like 25 to 35-inch reds.
Beautiful. Those are the reds, man. They give you one heck of a fight.
Yeah, they do. We caught a beast the other day, and it's just good because I'm hearing from other captains in other areas that I don't even fish that they're seeing them now too. So it's happening.
And Donald's talking about, he's got his little kayakers group launching at 7:30 a.m. at Maximo Park, right by shelter number 13.
And you'll have to look up a map online and see where that's at.
Shelter number 13 is at.
Right.
I couldn't tell you.
Right. I got it written down on my calendar. If I can make it, I'll try to make it out there.
Yeah, I just hope the weather's good for them because,
Saturday,
the weather, it's promising really good, and then all of a sudden it goes downhill again pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is Donald has his thing going on Saturday. We're supposed to film on Wednesday, and that's the 2 days they're saying are going to be the worst of the week.
And we're filming Sunday.
Right. And Sunday's looking shaky.
Up in Stanahatchee with Captain Ryan Rickard.
Yeah, I like Ryan. I've gotten along with him. He's a good guy, good tournament fisherman.
So I'm hoping that we get some good weather.
I'm not okay. But yeah, everything's happening right now. So like you could catch, because it hasn't switched over yet, you can still catch good sheep's head, but then go hit the flats and do snook, redfish, and trout. So it's kind of nice. You got everything.
And the mackerel's starting to come in. That's going to be super. And
yeah, they are.
Behind the mackerel is going to be the cobia.
Actually, I think it was Friday. Yeah, on Friday, up by Gandy, when I was leaving the tournament, the banquet, in the morning to go fish, just right there, and that deep channel that runs north and south right there out of Gandy, I seen 3 mackerel hits.
Wow.
Yep, they came up to the top of water, seen it clear as day, and I was like, "Oh, good, they're moving up into the bay too."
Well, that's good. And that means there's got to be some white bait, because
there is. There is.
Yeah, unless there's not white bait, they're not going to come.
No, there is. Like the reefs right now, they got white bait on it. I'm catching mine in 10 to 12 feet of water right now.
Yeah, so they're still deep.
And no. I seen not a lot. I don't want to say the flat because then everybody will go there and kill it. But one flat that we fished for snook, we seen about 15 white baits go by. So it's getting ready. There's still more. Obviously, there's more deep in that 10 feet, but I guarantee you somebody, especially with the week we had, somebody's probably catching their bait on the flats now somewhere.
Because last year I was seeing some of the canals that I was fishing, and they were coming by. Not real big schools, but 50 to 100 in the school. You could see them come by the boat.
Yeah,
but they were moving though. They weren't sitting still.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's It's happening, guys. It's really is. Hey, before we get too booked, because I know we're gonna have to start putting reports on because we've got so many. But I just want to talk about. I had Don actually at the seminar that's tuned in. He came up to me and asking me about these lures I've been using by Bass Assassin, which is the saltwater assassin, which is the saltwater side of Bass Assassin. Here's the packaging. Let me see if I can get that in there. There we go. There's the packaging. These are called the little P&Vs. And then the three that's been doing the best for me lately, and I only say that because probably if I tried another color, it'd work pretty good too. But
good. Yeah.
when you're killing it on three particular colors, it's hard to switch, you know, but your confidence level's there. But this is the brown. Let me see if I can put this like this. This is called brown glass minnow. So if you can see it, half of it has a lot of glitter on it. The other half has like a creamish shrimp type of color on it. That's been working really good. Throwing it on usually I throw it on a 1/4 ounce jig head, depending on the depth of water, or maybe an 1/8 ounce jig head. The other one I talk about a lot is this one. This is the green glass minnow, and it's got silver fleck on one side, a green color with green
That's
fleck.
one of my favorites right there.
And this one works really good. And then the other one, you know, sometimes with the water clarity and the way the sun is, overcast, not overcast, that's when one color will outdo the other. This one's dynamite right here. This is called Opening Night with a lime truce tail is what they call it. They don't call that chartreuse. They call that lime truce. Their chartreuse color is a little different than most. So this is called Opening Night. It's got a clearish purple color on it, on half of it. And then it's got a glitter side that you can see is just phenomenal. And then the chartreuse tail, or excuse me, lime truce. I got to make sure I say it right for their company.
That's right.
So lime truce tail, but you can see the glitter on that. And then if you really want to add to it, I'm putting the Procure on there. I've been using two on these things. The shrimp, the super gel and shrimp, especially on the brown glass minnow. And then the other flavor, I call them flavors. The other flavor is the inshore flavor. That's the two I've been using on these lures. And I'm going to tell you, we've been really doing good. It's a confidence bait. You'll always see it. Even though I've got 400 white baits in my well with a bunch of shrimp, I'm going to have at least one, if not two rods with those hooked up on it because it's really good. Sometimes if you see a fish on the flat going away from you, you can make that cast with that lure and be able to still catch that fish. You know, so it's a great lure.
And like I said, that's all I've been using, that little P&V. To me, it's been a killer.
Yeah, it's a great
and
bait.
You look at it and you say, what is there to it? You know, it's just a little small taper. Maybe it's the size. You think it's the size that's smaller?
Well, you know what, though? A lot of jerk baits, you get a reaction strike. And this thing, when it's going through the water, it really does dart like side to side. And I think it mimics a bait fish that's injured because it's not swimming correctly, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And I'll tell you, it does have good action on that tail. You wouldn't think so, but that's a good action. So when you do a hop, when you hop that thing, it's really moving around a lot.
I said last Wednesday we were catching mackerel and speckled trout on that. Just beautiful.
Beautiful. I've been throwing these around the docks. Like I'll have it like when I'll have a few clients on live bait, and either me or I'll put one client on one of these. The other color too is electric chicken. That's been working really good.
Electric chicken's an old standby.
Yeah, I like electric chicken. But I've been throwing this one particularly around the docks, and we've caught a good amount of snook and redfish on it while using the live bait. So it's catching everything.
But now you know, guys, we're giving away a lot of secrets here, man.
Okay. Here's the weirdest one. We were using the little P&V, another color I like, in the molting color, which is a similar color to this with a darker side with the fleck in it. We were using that, and it was the weirdest thing. We caught a sheep's head on a little P&V jerk bait.
You know, because sheephead usually just won't hit that.
And what's funny is you know how they have the teeth right in the front?
Right.
It got hooked in the lip right in front of the teeth. That's the only reason why we got it, is it actually hooked it in the lip. But on a little P&V, I mean, I've caught plenty of black sea bass and stuff like that, but A sheep's head on a little
Usually
P&V?
they're just strictly crustacean eaters. They don't want
Yeah.
to eat it. It's hard to ever get them to hit an artificial. Ain't no
Yes,
way.
I don't know. Years ago, the weirdest one that ever happened to me was I caught a sheep's head while I was fishing an oyster mound for redfish. I caught it on a gold spoon. So that was another weird one, but it's like 20 years ago.
Heaven knows.
But,
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get Tony Franklin's fishing report in.
Okay, yeah, because we got a lot of them.
Got a lot of them tonight.
Hi, Captain Tony Franklin, back with you once again with this week's fishing report. Let's dive right into it. The trout fishing has been really good in the feeder creeks, backcountry creeks, residential canals. Been catching quite a few smaller, medium-sized ones. Great action. They're in about 6 to 7 feet of water right off the residential docks, main channels. Some of the bigger ones have hit the free line shrimp, so that's a tip that you might want to go with. The free line shrimp hooked through the tail, just free lining them. And at the same time, we're taking and threading some on with a little split shot and getting them down. The smaller trout are picking up the split shot ones, the medium-sized trout doing the same thing with split shot, but some of the bigger ones prefer that shrimp to be up in the water column a little bit in the backcountry areas. They're also around some of the oyster beds, like I was saying, so they can be just about anywhere. So change up your tactics and techniques with the shrimp. The water has begun to warm. The water's become quite a bit warmer in the last week as it's warmed up. With that, the snook bite has started to pick up a little bit, so we're getting a better snook bite right now. Although it'll get better as this water temperature continues to warm. Hopefully some of the warmer weather will stay here for a while, but we always get some last-second cold fronts that have a potential to mess things up a little bit. So, you know, that happens every year, that we think that we're on our way to warmer weather for the rest of the year, and it doesn't happen. So there's going to be some cold fronts, but it should get more steady. Water temperature up to around 71 degrees. There's been some redfish around. We're catching Jack Crevalle's for action. Been ladyfish around for action. Catching still this week small black drum. We're also catching whiting, and all this is on shrimp. Although we have caught a few snook this week on white bait. So that is picking up, and that will continue to pick up. We lost quite a few. We lost 2 or 3 bigger snook this week, so that's exciting because we're getting into the springtime, and things are just going to pick up from here with the snook bite. So get out on the water, try different things like I say every week. Have fun, enjoy yourself. Tight lines, good fishing, and I'll see you next week.
All right.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. He always does a good job.
Michael Haynes just tuned in, and let's see. Rolando saying, "Great show, guys. Appreciate that, Rolando."
The sheephead man. That's Rolando.
Yeah, that's Rolando. Huh?
Yeah, he likes sheephead. Him and his dad. That's the sheephead man.
Yeah.
And also the
Yeah.
guy that says there's no fish in the bay.
Yeah, right.
Always
That's
said that.
funny.
There ain't no fish in the bay, Sergio. We go out there, we catch nothing but catfish all the time. And his dad, you know, it's funny because his dad is such a nice guy, but he's from the old school. He wants to go out fishing, but he wants to take 50-pound tackle, conventional
Right.
reel. I mean,
Right.
and he tells him, there ain't no big fish in the bay to catch, you know. And he says, yeah, you know, hey. But he likes that heavy tackle. He wants that deep water.
Got to take him drum fishing. That's what he got to do.
You know, it's the time of the year for the drum to be moving in.
They're here. Oh, yeah, they're here.
Should be their spawning time right now.
Yep. They're down there by the Skyway area and moving up.
So hopefully we'll see what happens, you know. But I hope you're listening, Rolando. Tell your dad the black drum are in. Go take them to get some. Get you some blue crabs and get out there and get them, man. Or take a jig head with some. I like the large shrimp for them instead of the medium, and just go out there and find them. They should be out right inside the Skyway off those sandbars.
Yep. That and even an artificial shrimp on a 3/8 ounce jig head. Just make sure you use a good size hook. You don't want a small hook.
No, you get the jig head. I like to use a jig head because it makes it easy. And most jig heads have a 3/0 hook on them, you know? So,
yeah.
All right, there you go. He says, yeah, I'm going to try that. You're right. I
We
love
wouldn't
that.
steer. Yeah, we wouldn't steer you wrong. That's what I'm saying. You gotta go take him after them drum. Then he could put that tackle to the test.
Yeah, but don't let him take the heavy tackle. Make him work for him.
That's
Make him
funny.
hook him on lighter tackles. So he's got to fight it. So he gets it. But he'll get to enjoy the bite, man. And everybody from the boat show, remember, we're getting close to, we're going to be showing the ticket number pretty soon. We just don't want to give it away too early in the show, but we're going to have it. It's coming.
Yep. And then you gotta remember to text Sergio when you see it.
I'm going to give you enough time to text me, but I don't want to give you enough time so they can call their buddies and say, hey,
buddy.
Hey, yeah, you won. And you weren't watching the show. So if they're not watching the show, they're not going to have a chance at it.
But and it's it's not a cheesy prize. I mean, it's a $250 net, so
that's right.
That's a good net.
Now George,
go ahead.
We were talking about there was the same type of grass that we were talking about down here.
Yes.
That's the grass that we were catching the trout on in Crystal River.
Ah.
They have a bunch, but it's only in one little spot. Maybe Mike Haynes can get into this and talk and say something on Facebook, but it's the same grass that we have down here, and it was doing the same thing. It was laying, on the top.
Yeah.
And it was thick, but it's only one area. He says you don't find it anywhere else except this one little spot that we went to, maybe the size of a couple of football fields, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, ours spread like wildfire. I mean, we have it all over the place in the bay this year.
And to me, I tell you, that's the trout get in there, and I think it's going to be good for the mackerel because I think the mackerel are going to like it. That's going to attract the bait fish. That's the whole thing.
It is all over the place. It used to only be in select areas, but now I've found it on both sides of the bay, north and south, and it's like, geez. I mean, it's. I just hope it doesn't take over, though. That's the only thing.
Oh, but I hope it's the type of grass that also takes a lot of the junk out of the water and helps clean the water because the grass does that. Well, that's the problem that we've had. You lose a lot of our grass flats. You lose a lot of filtration.
Right.
System.
Well, now that you touch base on that, I don't know. Have you seen what's going on in the Keys right now?
No.
Yeah, we got a problem down there right now, and they can't figure it out at the moment. There's something going on like around the Big Pine Key area.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where else. It might be further spread than that, but I know it's around Big Pine Key. There's something going on with the water. They can't figure it out yet. The scientists are checking it out. It's not red tide, but the fish are they've lost 15 sawtooth small shark fish,
Yes.
And let's see, they said they're seeing tarpon, mangrove snapper, lemon sharks dying. The bonefish and tarpon trust people, they have a scientist. He's looking into it. FWC is looking into it. There's even some bait that's doing circles and dying.
And it's not a red tide.
And it's not a red tide, and they haven't figured it out. They haven't figured it out yet. That's the scary part.
Don't need that.
And the problem is they're saying is the water is crystal clear, like there's nothing wrong with it. So something's going on down there, and they haven't figured it out yet. Wow. But it's not. It's got to be something new because none of their normal tests is detecting what's doing it. So I pray for them that they figure it out quick or that it goes away or whatever. But
because man, the Keys is kind of like the big breeding grounds down there.
Oh yeah, and they got to look it up. There's even like stingrays upside down on top of the water dying.
Oh,
Jesus. And so I hope they figure it out. But it's bad. I've watched some videos now, and it's not good. It's not good. And the weird thing is, it's the water looks crystal clear, like there's absolutely nothing wrong with
crazy?
it.
There's got to be something in the water. It's some kind
They're checking for like human contamination, like chemicals or something of that nature also. But so far they haven't. They've got two different organizations, at least two different organizations that I know of working on it, and they can't figure it out.
Jesus, that's terrible.
It's been going since January, I guess, or something like that.
Well, since we got Michael Haynes on.
Yeah.
Let's get his thing in a minute.
Okay. Mike, no, that was at Big Pine Island, Keys, in the Keys.
Wow. All right, let's get Michael Haynes fishing report in.
Hey guys, Captain Mike Haynes here, Fishbones Charters out of Crystal River, Florida. Coming in on a late charter on Sunday evening. Had a fun day today. It was a couple day charter, so we had yesterday and today, along with fishing with Sergio earlier this week. Been a very productive week. Caught a lot of redfish up in the shallows. Water temperatures coming up. Today was about 74, 75 degrees, even on the incoming tide. So that means this water's warming up pretty quick. These fish are on the move. Today we found a lot of fish underneath shadows, overhangs of the mangrove. Can't speak. And today we kind of changed it up a little bit. Instead of cut, we still did cut. We did ladyfish and cut pinfish, but we changed it up a little bit with some live bait, and it seemed to be still productive. So I think with the water warming up, these fish are getting a little more active and they're looking for that live bait. So as that water temperature warms up, you're going to see more and more productive fish, more and more aggressive fish. So you kind of change your tactics from that cold winter. Now this is a transition period. So you're going to find some are still lethargic, some that are really hitting live bait. And that's what you kind of do. You kind of keep changing it up. They were biting on shrimp as well. More of the smaller redfish seem to get the bigger redfish on the bigger pins, cut bait or cut ladyfish. So we were trout fishing, found a couple ladyfish, put them in the cooler. Fresh ladyfish is the key. You can't freeze them. They don't do well frozen. So if you catch a ladyfish or two, throw it on the nice big chunks and throw it on the hook, throw it up against the mangroves. You're guaranteed to usually catch a redfish, and snook even like it, since snook season is open now. Probably within another week or two, hopefully they'll get real active. They like to have that really warm, consistent water before they really get out there and start to bite effectively, so to speak. But again, back with Cap Sergio and Ota, we had a great time. Caught a lot of fish. See some pictures on the side there. Looking forward to hopefully the next time. And we'll see you next week, guys. Captain Mike Haynes, Fishbones Charters out of Crystal River, Florida.
And thank you, Mike.
Nice job, Mike. Nice job. Good job in putting them on some fish, man, making a show.
No, he did a great job. So if you want to go and catch some fish around Crystal River, let's give Captain Mike Haynes a call, because he's the guy up there. Believe me. There's a lot of guides up there, but you got some that are just a little better than the other ones. And I think he's one of the top ones in there.
Right,
No
right.
question about it.
I'll tell you, this week, for this whole last week, if not a little bit longer, I've been running with multiple different baits because of, just like every guide is saying, they're starting to change. So it's good to have different types of baits sometimes, so that maybe one day they want the live, one day they want the cut, one day they want shrimp. But it's good to have a variety. And I've been running with white bait. I've had filler crabs, shrimp, and pinfish on my boat. Well, the one morning, it's like sometimes you don't pass up a good thing. I didn't get out to go look for white bait. As I was going out, all of a sudden I seen this huge school of thread fins. And I was like, why pass it up? I threw the net, filled the live well up with thread fins. And so I had thread fins and shrimp in there. And it was like, that's what I went and fished with. My biggest redfish last week came on that thread fin because they love the smell of that thread fin.
Thread fins are really oily type.
I love them. That's wouldn't you agree? It's probably one of the best cut baits out there, and live bait. They work good live because they stink.
But that's the thing. I mean, as dead bait, they put out a lot of scent, which is the important thing.
Jessica just tuned in. How you doing, Jessica?
And she's going out with Mike at the end of the month.
Nice, good guy, man. You'll have a fun time with him.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. Knows what he's doing, and you'll have fun. That's all I can tell you. Now, George.
Yes, sir.
If we got mackerel early already, that means usually right behind them is going to be those kingfish.
And then right with that, it's going to be the tarpon.
So we might get a good bite early this year.
Mike says he wishes he had more of those greenbacks up here. I'm going to tell you what, there's been a lot of years. I like them fresh, but there's been a lot of years where my captain buddies, they just buy 2 5-pound boxes of thread fins frozen. And they still do pretty good on the frozen ones. So don't You might want to
Well,
try it if you got to.
thread fins is one that, you can use frozen.
Yeah.
The greenbacks you can't. Greenbacks,
Yeah,
once you freeze
get
them, they're
mushy.
shot. I mean,
Unless
you can
you-
chop them up for chum, but
Unless you vacuum seal it. That's the only way you can get away with it is if you vacuum seal it. But on the thread fins, here's a little hit, or any frozen bait that you buy. Look at the eyes. If the eyes look really clear and crisp, that's the box you want to buy. Don't just grab a box and buy it, because sometimes they get thawed out, refrozen, and stuff like that, and then that's
the
just
red eye, the pinkish eyes. That's
you
right.
know, the unclear eyes. You don't want that box. Get the box that got the nice clear eyes. Jessica says she won a free charter. Well, congratulations. You're just
Well,
winning all kinds of things lately.
Yeah, I know. I mean, these women, man, I don't know.
And we got to congratulate Jessica. I think it was the CCA or CA Richardson tournament. She ended up, I think, winning that or placing really high. I think she might have won it. Straighten me out, Jessica. Give me a comment over here. What'd you get?
Yeah, what did you win? That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, was it first place in the CA tournament? I know she did really well, and all the girls were up there. Pam and I think Lisa was up there. Don't bail on us now.
Now, come on, let us know. And guys, just so you know, we got 7:42 according to my laptop here. So at 7:45, George, we're going to show the winning ticket. We're going to show it for so we make sure people are paying attention. We're going to show it for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds. That they don't need any longer than that. Then they're going to have 10 minutes to get back to me, because I don't want them calling all their friends and tell them, hey, is this your number? This your number?
Right,
So
right.
if they're not watching and they got the winning ticket, they're not going to win. Period. You got one shot at this thing, because this is expensive. We don't want to just give it away just for the fun of it.
So I was right. Jessica said she won first place and got a Power Pole Blade 8-foot
Wow.
Marine GOS and transducer. So congratulations on that. Artificial only, and she was the first lady to win it. Congratulations, Jessica. You deserve it. You fish all the time. You do a lot of tournaments. You and your husband are out there a lot. So
Nice job.
congratulations.
Real
Definitely.
nice job.
And that's a pretty good tournament. There's a lot of good fishermen in that tournament. So that you
All
did
these
great.
tournaments, there's good fishermen in. I would say 90% of them, they're all good.
Well, Sergio, let me ask you this. Instead of doing it at 7:45, what if we run a report, get a report done?
Right after the report.
Right after the report, we'll pull the number.
Well, why don't we do, let's do Scotty.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is Captain Scotty Rowe from Charlotte Harbor. What a spectacular week on the water. All has to do with water temperature. We've had these days where we're getting into the 80s. It's brought the water temperature into the 70s. And what does that do for tropical fish? It makes them very hungry. It's been a great week. Lots and lots of snook. A lot of little ones, but having fun with them. Definitely every day I've picked up 1 or 2 slot-sized fish. Another thing I see this week that's having fun with, starting to see some of those larger Jack Crevalles show up in that 5, 6, 7 pound range. Man, I just love those good old canal tuna, and that's where I'm catching them, in the Punta Gorda canals. Another fish I've caught quite a few of this week is a lot of redfish. I'm fishing those up in the mangroves when the tide gets high. A lot of little guys in that 15 to 18 inch range, but if you weed through them, I'm getting some slot fish too. Trout bite is still good. Catching a lot of those, of course, in the grass flats, 3 to 4 foot of water. The bite for those has really been good out in Turtle and Bull Bay. Just all kinds of good stuff. Seeing lots of little tarpon around. They're not being really user-friendly yet, but probably another 5 degrees on that water temperature, and we're going to have fun with those little fellas, those 10, 20, 30 pounders, the fun size, I call them. That's kind of my report for the week. I do have some days available towards the end of March. If anyone's looking to come down here to Charlotte Harbor and go have some fun, we can do that. Give me a call. Talk at y'all next week.
Thank you, Scotty. We really appreciate it.
Yep. Nice
All right,
report.
George. Shall we get the drum? Hang on. Wait a minute. Let's see. All right. Here we go.
There it is.
I'm
Hope
gonna
you win. I hope somebody
hope you
wins.
win. Get ready. George, you tell me if you could read it. So if you could read it.
I'll tell you when to stop. Just keep
All
going
right.
closer to the camera and a little closer. There you go. Lift it up. There you go, right there. Hurry up, read that because Sergio's arm's getting tired.
Yep. I'm going to count to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's it.
All right, there you go.
If you got that number, text me because you won the $250, Valley Hoop Net.
Alejandro saying that's me.
Or if it's you, brother,
That'd be awesome.
all right. All we
You
got to
gotta
do
show-
is you
show-
got to have your ticket. That's
Show
all.
them the ticket. That's all you got to
Yeah,
do.
that's all
You
you
could
do.
Take a picture of the
take a picture of your
ticket
ticket and text
and
it to me,
then text it to Sergio.
and then we'll get together. That's all you got to do. All right. See, I like to have
And-
people
and-
win.
And thank you, Jessica, for posting the number and Sergio's phone number up there so people can still see it. Appreciate that.
We want to make it. We didn't want to make it too easy, George, because we gave. Let me tell you, we gave a lot of stuff away.
Oh, we did. We did shirts and
Everything.
gloves and had a good sale on those fishing rods that you were doing.
We were trying to make sure everybody was happy. That's all.
Yep.
And now,
That was a good deal. There was a rod and reel and all that, So
and all that tackle they got with it. Yep.
Yep.
There's a lot of happy people. So, but Alejandro, I'm glad. I'm ready to see that ticket, man. Text it to me, brother. All right, let's get Bucky on there.
Good afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Captain Bucky Goldman, Bag and Fishing, Charters, Tampa, Florida, FishingGuide.com. So I, had surgery February 7th, so I'm about 27 days out of surgery, somewhere around there. Anyways, I got out there last week. I did a little scouting one day, found some nice redfish on the flats and stuff. And then, I've actually found a nice school of redfish, but I got out the next day. I couldn't really net bait, so I had to run down, and the wind changed to the south. It was blowing real hard, kind of got beat up getting down to get bait. We ended up catching a couple really nice reds. Got another red in the boat. Had some swirling on baits. They just wouldn't eat. Got a few little snook and a bunch of catfish. So, overall, I was pretty happy since I haven't been out in over 3 weeks. But shoulders getting there. I got pretty good range of motion, but I'm super limited when it comes to coming outwards like this. It's still really sore, and that is what I'm going to need to be able to throw a cast net. So for the meantime, I'll just be out there maybe chunking some bait or going to have to buy some bait. But it's starting to look good. I saw a few snooks swimming around, but nothing in great numbers. There has been a few little trout around in the creek mouths and stuff, but no great numbers. Nothing like what it was compared to 5-6 years ago. So hopefully with the little rat reds we're seeing and some little trout that we get a nice big turnaround in the next couple of years. And hopefully with this dumping they just had, we don't have any adverse, Lake Okeechobee dumping. Hopefully it doesn't work its way up the coast. We end up getting some major red tide effects, and that would be kind of devastating. So anyways, hoping for the best, hoping for a nice season of regrowth in Tampa Bay and fish populations. And I got plenty of availability for all of March and April, so give me a call. Let's get out there, tight lines, and see you on the water.
All right, thank you, Bucky. And Alejandro sent me a picture of his ticket.
Did it match up?
Well, I just saw it pop up on my screen. real
Oh,
quick.
okay.
I
Well, we're
got to
dying.
scrutinize it. Really look at it good.
Right.
And I said, oh, Barbara's on the line too, man. She's
Yep.
keeping an eye on you.
She's keeping an eye on you.
Oh, is that what it is?
Gotta keep you straight.
There you go. She's a good woman. She's a
Now, Sergio, that was your cell number that you gave out, right?
yeah.
What-
He already texted me. That was his
Okay.
phone number.
Okay.
I only have one number. That used to be my home number 30 years ago at my business line at home. And when they told me that that you could use it as a cell number, that's when I dropped the home number because I never used it. I just had call forwarding to my cell.
Right.
And made that into my cell number. So, we're ready to go. Let's get let's get Pam on a minute. 'Cause
All
then
right.
we got you. Make sure we got plenty of time.
Hey everyone, lunch break at Tampa Fishing Outfitters. So I want to give you an update about Jacksonville. The water's starting to warm up, so topwater bite has been very successful. The second fish and the other fish that I caught were on a fluke or jerk bait, whichever you want to call it, on an owner's twist lock. Tight lines. I'm going to let Hoda just play the 2 videos. They have a soundtrack with them. And I'll be in Tampa Bay this weekend. See you there.
All right. I don't know what happened to the other
Yeah,
video.
I'm not sure. He might have to. Is there another video, Hota?
That's it. Okay.
Okay.
There
Okay.
was some other videos, but well, that happens. Well, Hota, let's get George's report in a minute, so we don't have to worry about running short on that.
Hey guys, this is Captain George Hastig of Fish Hunter Fishing Charters, coming to you from St. Petersburg, Florida. Well, as you can tell from behind me and the noise I'm sure you're probably hearing, it's going to be windy. It's going to be windy for the next few days. But the snook bite definitely came alive. The whitebait's really working on the snook right now. We did really well. There's catch and release grouper fishing right now. Some juveniles I've been doing on some of the rock piles. That's been fun. With this wind, like today, we stayed inshore. We did a lot of sheep's head fishing. Shrimp and fiddler crabs was the answer for that. It's kind of strange. Like some docks are holding fish, some aren't. You know, so that's just going to be a matter of you prodding around and looking. I'd say, you know, a little bit of moving water is definitely better for all the fish, actually. But the sheep's head, they're ranging anywhere from about 14 to 17, 18 inches, which are decent size. The docks are also holding some redfish, and they're ranging in size now from juveniles all the way up to about 30, 31 inches. So, you know, you could be catching some juveniles and all of a sudden latch into a drag screamer. So that's a lot of fun, and you can mix it up that way. There's a few mangrove snapper around. Some of the areas are holding more mangrove snapper, but I haven't ran that far. I've been kind of staying close to my area. The trout, I'm still getting them on the little P&V. I've been really doing good with the brown glass minnow and the electric chicken color. Those 2 colors have been working for me this week. The main thing is, it depends on how the bite is. You know, I'll usually do like a 2-hop and let it sink, and then as soon as you feel any kind of tick on the sink, that's usually the hit. Set the hook on it. There's been plenty of ladyfish around in the canal, so if you're just looking to put a kid on some fun, give them a lure, a shrimp, you know, pretty much anything. Twister tail, and just you know, just reel it, and you'll get the ladyfish that way. It's just a fun time for a kid, and it's a lot of action. And you know, so get out there right now. It's starting to heat up. There's still bait around. It's being moved around when we have these little cold fronts, but it's still around, and the bait's running anywhere from like 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches, all the way up to like the 5-inch bait. So it's definitely a mix of bait out there right now. All right, this has been Captain George Hastig. Have a good day.
All right, George.
Yeah, it's been good. There's such a variety right now because of the mix of weather. The variety is so good that it's from, you know, black sea bass, and I wouldn't doubt the way things have been going. I wouldn't doubt if there ain't a few tarpon around right now.
Oh, we know there's some in Tarpon Springs. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the resident tarpon, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't doubt if some tarpon aren't even moving up.
Well, if you said like if the mackerel's coming in,
Yeah,
tarpon's going to be right
there.
Last year, remember it was
Warm.
early April. Yeah, that the tarpon were in already in Tampa Bay. It was early April because I remember by the 15th of April they were already stacked up around the Skyway Bridge.
I mean, years ago, and this ain't normal, but we jumped a tarpon in February at Gandy Bridge
It all depends on water.
on the
temperature.
water. Yep,
Water temperature plays a big
and,
role
and bait.
in bait. If there's the bait and the water temperature is right, the kingfish will be here. Plenty of mackerel. The tarpon will be here. You know,
Usually, Yeah, and usually when you start seeing those big schools of threadfin, the tarpon are right on their butts.
So let's hope all of that just all comes together. And then one last little wish, the good Lord, calm the winds.
Yeah.
I don't want it to
Yep.
be calm, but not 15 to 25 to 30.
Yeah, right.
That's a little too much, guys.
I'll tell you, I was so glad on Friday I was in the tournament, and I was so happy that the winds were going to be at my back when I was coming back across the bay. And then I got lucky. You know, we stayed tucked in and away from the winds because at one time during, like in the morning, it was rough going across. It was definitely rough when I was running into it. But then during the day, we stayed tucked in against land most of the day, so we never got beat up at all. And it got real windy at one time, and then after the tournament was over, by the time I left, it actually mellowed out. So I had a nice, way better trip going back home than I did going there. But the winds have just been brutal, and the weatherman's been so far off. One of the other captains.
No, remember, he's not far off. Somewhere, it's what it was what he said it was going to be. Okay.
Right.
I mean,
right.
if he said it was going to rain and thunderstorms on Sunday, you would have said he's crazy. He was off. But if he came to my house, he was right on the money.
Right.
So
Well, I got a giggle out of one of the other captains, and I think it was Friday morning because he had an offshore trip, and it wasn't supposed to be windy, and it was windy as could be. And he did a post. He said, "Well, the wind liar is at it again." Right this year, though, it's pretty much been at least 5 miles an hour to whatever they're predicting easily.
I mean, the other day, where they were saying, 4 to 8, and it was 10
was
to 15.
16.
And I'm saying, well, where's 4 to 8 here?
Well, and that was on your side.
Yeah.
It was blowing towards me on my side. By the time I came across, and they were saying about 8 to 10. It was 16 gusting to 20, and I was like, "What the heck?"
And you know what it does is, well, number one, you just can't get to the places you want to get to because it gets so uncomfortable.
Thunder woke Don up at dark 30 on Sunday morning. Don, since I've replaced my windows, I sleep like a baby.
Of course, all his neighbors moved out too. I tell you, I don't hear much in my house because I got so many trees that they block the noise and the wind and everything else. But
Right.
it was sprinkling Sunday morning when I left my house. When
Same
I got
here.
to the fair, to the boat show, it was beautiful.
It was
And it
gorgeous.
was beautiful the whole day.
Yep. I had the same thing. I had where it was raining first thing in the morning, and then it only did that for not even a hard rain, just a light rain. Did that for about maybe an hour, and then on the way there, it was beautiful. I was crossing the bay, looking at the water, going, "Why isn't it that smooth when I'm doing a charter?"
Because you're not doing a charter. Isn't that the way it is?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Well, I'm hoping that I hope we can make the show Wednesday, and then I got the charter on Thursday. So I'm hoping everything kind of falls into place.
Yeah, I got Thursday and Friday. I got charter, so hopefully the weatherman keeps those good for us at least. And then we have the show on Sunday that we're going to try and film, but that's looking a little shaky too with the weather.
No, I'm not. I want to do Stanahatchee so bad. It's got to be good.
I know.
Man, I'm looking forward to that trip. I haven't fished in Stanahatchee in 20 years. I'm dying to go up there.
Now we got Yesley Serrano Reyes asking if there's any good fishing here in Fort Myers. I'm telling you what, you can catch fish in all of Florida. All of Florida is great fishing. I don't know exact spots to tell you in Fort Myers, but what I would do,
Fort Myers fishing is great.
I
Great
would go
snook
on
fishing.
Oh yeah, I would go on one of the sites like either Florida Sportsman or one of those social media sites and get to the Fort Myers section, and you'll be able to find out some information and some ideas on where to go.
Hey Barbara, I know it's 50 to 60, but remember,
It's too far away,
there's 50 to 40 that is not going to rain.
and it's too far away. They can't.
And it's too far away.
They
How do
can't
you know
predict.
it's 50 to 60?
They can't predict one day out sometimes,
That rain might get tired, and never make it up there.
right?
It decides
Well, I had a funny one today. Barbara's phone rang off and it said, rain starting in 20 minutes, and we never got nothing.
Well, that goes to show you, see.
Yeah.
But anyway, the show's over, guys. Thank you. I'm glad that Alejandro, Yep. It was, you know, that.
Oh, you got a Michael Dawson still.
Oh, do we? Oh, we better put Michael Dawson. I'm sorry. Let's get Michael. Yep.
Hi guys, Captain Michael Dawson, your Patriot Guide Surf here with this week's fishing report. So warm weather is finally here. Fishing is getting really, really good. By really good, I mean it is absolutely phenomenal out here. We're seeing warm temperatures. We're seeing fish come out of the rivers. Fish are hungry. They're chewing. It is really good right now. We are averaging anywhere between 75 to 100 fish a trip right now between redfish, trout, snook, mangrove snapper, jacks, sharks. It is getting really, really good out here. Whitebait is the key bait right now with this warm weather. Water temperature is starting off the mornings at 71, finishing in mid-70s. So whitebait is your key bait right now. Can be found on the Howard Park Flat, out by 7X, out by the power plant. Get out there early morning, chum real well, and you should do pretty well with the bait. Start looking for fish to trout on the islands down south in the Spoil Islands, mouth of the river, mouth of Gulf Harbors, mouth of the Cody, mouth of the Hudson River. Really anywhere that there's water flowing out of this river, these fish are flowing out. Anclo Key's holding lots of redfish now under the mangroves. Half of whitebait's been working really well, and that seems to be the key bait. Lots of snook leaving the river as well. They're still not quite feeding heavily, but we're starting to see them in all these little potholes, catching 2 or 3 a trip out there, but they are starting to feed pretty good. Captain Michael Dawson, Patriotic Guide Service.
Thank you, Michael. And
Nice
I
report.
just checked Alejandro, and he's got the winning number. No question about it.
Awesome. Alejandro, see, it paid off to come visit us.
There you go. And we want to thank everybody for being part of the show. We're looking forward to seeing you next week. And
And
please, before you go to bed tonight, say a little prayer for us that we get some good weather for filming.
And you see what's happening? We got Alejandro telling him that there's great kayak fishing at Wiggins Pass in North Naples. Donald's kicking in saying fish the beaches of Estero Island. You know, so there it is. We're fishermen helping other fishermen.
You can't go wrong. And the other thing, too, don't forget to tune in Fishing Adventures Florida. Like us, subscribe to it. We're going to break 13,000 subscribers by next week. And it's
Yeah, we're
all
close.
thanks to you and everybody that's spreading the word and helping us out. And we continue to grow and grow and grow. So please, thank you. Tell everybody about Fishing Adventures Florida, will you? And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.